Good to see you back. You've just learned 2 repeatable formulas that are going to help you write powerful, results-driven copy. Next up, you're going to learn how to write headlines. This is so important because while 8 out of 10 people will read your headline, only 2 out of 10 will go on to read the rest of the copy. So you kind of need to get it right. So in this lecture, you're going to learn. So by the end of this lecture, you're going to know the fail-safe 4 use technique for writing sticky headlines. You're going to learn how to annihilate boring headlines forever, and you're going to have some quick tips for writing winning headlines. So let's get started. The main goal of your headline is to get your first sentence read. Take a few seconds to read and absorb that sentence. Now cast your mind back to the last article or Facebook post you clicked on. What was it about that article that tugged at your interest? I bet it offered something useful or solved a problem for you, or it might have just stoked curiosity in you. Either way, it probably fell into one of the 4 U's. Now the 4 U's is a really memorable checklist that's going to power up your headlines. And it works like this. Your headline needs to tick off one of these 4 U's. So it needs to be either urgent, it needs to be unique, it needs to be ultra specific, or it needs to be useful. If you want to create headlines that seduce people into clicking, sharing, reading, opening your copy, you need to do at least one of these. So let me show you what I mean. Let's start with urgency. So what you don't want your reader to do is to put off reading your article or saving it for later, because let's face it, that generally means they'll never go back to it. So adding urgency to your headline encourages them to click and open it right away. So you can use things like the perfect way to grow your Instagram today, or 8 best industries for starting a business right now, or 12 new TV shows you need to watch this fall. So this is a good place to deploy those explosive power words again, words like now, today, quick, and ASAP, because they make people feel like if they don't click on it now, then they're going to miss out. So create urgency if you can. If not, let's move on to unique. Now, people value novelty. Our brains just love new things. So if you write in a way that's fresh and surprising, your readers are just much more likely to pay attention to you. So try to avoid writing boring run-of-the-mill headlines like this: Starbucks launches new unicorn frappuccino. And instead write something more like this: Starbucks unicorn frappuccino tastes like sour birthday cake and shame. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm much more likely to click on that second one. Mostly because I want to know what sour birthday cake and shame tastes like, but also because it's just a lot more interesting. I think the key here is just to imagine that if you stumbled across your headline on Facebook or Twitter or wherever it is, whether you would click on it. And if you would, then you are going in the right direction. The third U is to be ultra specific. People love to know what they're going to get out of reading something. So if you write a headline like this, that's great, how to become a successful freelancer, but I mean, it's a bit meh, it's a bit boring, right? I mean, how many different articles have you read like that? So we need to add some detail to make it more specific. So if we add on this, how to become a successful freelancer and quit your desk job in 30 days, it's just instantly more relevant, more engaging, and it makes me curious. So try to be as specific as you can with your headlines. My final tip is to be useful. Now remember in the lecture on emotion, I said if in doubt, if you're ever stuck, be helpful. It's the guaranteed way to grab your reader's attention. So try to offer a mouth-watering benefit in your headline. So something like this: the complete guide to using stock photos in your marketing, how to completely reset your Google login across every device, or hate mornings, design a productive afternoon routine instead. Don't make the mistake of trying to be clever or witty. Just be helpful and you can't go wrong. So that's the 4 U's checklist for writing headlines in a nutshell. Remember, you want to try and be one of these 4 U's. You want to be either urgent, unique, ultra specific, or useful. Now, headlines can be a fairly weighty subject, but if you stick to these principles, I promise you, you can't go wrong. Time for some quick-fire headline tips. Okay, so 1, ask questions. Questions are effective because they force your reader to mentally respond. 2, include numbers. People love a numbered list like this, 9 productivity tips for ridiculously busy people. 3, keep it simple and direct. How to cook bacon in the oven, for example. It works really well because it's easy to read and keeps the reader moving forward. Tip 4, make a bold claim. Become a millionaire by age 25. Who wouldn't want to read that? Tip 5, but if you're going to make a bold claim, don't use clickbaits. Don't overpromise something, then underdeliver in the blog post. This is a classic example. Supermodels do this to look amazing. Click to know what they are. Okay, time for a copy mission so you can try these principles out for yourself. Okay, see if you can improve this headline by making it more unique. Try to make it sound more original and fresh. Pause the video and write a headline now. Here's mine. How to cook a 3-course Japanese meal for less than a trip to the movies. So we're saying the same thing pretty much, but we're just making it sound a lot more unique and a lot more interesting. Let's try another one. How could you make this headline more urgent? 12 office desk hacks to improve your productivity. Pause the video and have a go now. Here's mine. 12 office desk hacks you can do right now to improve your productivity. Can you see how by adding the words right now, just add a little bit of urgency and give people that extra kick to actually read the article now? And how about this one? Reasons why most people fail their first driving test. How could you make this more specific? Remember, numbers are great in headlines. Pause the video and have a go now. Here's my version. 5 reasons why 77% of people fail their first driving test. Can you see how it just makes it more credible, more interesting, more engaging? Well done. I hope that exercise helped. Here's a very quick, before we sum up, here's a quick headline power up. Now, I always recommend to people that they brain dump at least 20 headline ideas. And that way you can vote for your best, you can share them with your friends, and you can mix up the best bits. And that's the best way to kind of crystallize your ideas and find the best headline for the job. 2 is to use an online tool. Now, I like to use Headline Analyzer by CoSchedule because it scores your headlines and it increases their shareability. It's quite an addictive tool and it's good fun. And it's just a nice extra thing to do, just to kind of sanity check your headlines as you go. Okay, let's quickly sum up this lecture and what you've just learned. You've learned how to use the 4 U's technique for writing headlines that grab readers' attention. You've learned, hopefully, how to never write a boring headline again. And you've learned some tips and tools to make writing your headlines easier and quicker. Thank you so much for watching this lecture on how to write headlines in a nutshell. The next section is a series of pocket guides to help you write your next project. You can choose from emails, web copy, press releases, or case studies. So I look forward to seeing you there.